fastball. Powell didn't come far enough inside on her, and Smith unloads on into no man's land all the way down into the left field corner. Stand-up double. Now the Profs are in business. Their first runner in scoring position.
Kristen Wallace now up to the plate. And the delivery to Kristen Wallace. And that ball is high. So it's 1-0.
And that was Heidi Smith's team high 55th hit so far this season.
And that one hits the inside part of the plate. Strike one.
And Wallace comes in on the season, .321, started all 33 games for the Profs here so far this season.
That ball's low, tried to get her to chase that one. So it's 2-1 now to Kristen Wallace.
And Wallace is really going to make Powell work, and this is from 1 through 9. This is a very patient Rowan lineup. They're not going to swing at bad pitches and help Powell out.
Good pitch right down the heart of the plate. That ball had some movement on it. It's 1-2.
And Wallace second on the team behind her teammate Heidi Smith in RBIs with 26. So the two most dangerous hitters right now for the Profs.
Now she slaps one to the first baseman. They cover well, though, and that's an out. So still 1 on, 2 outs right now.
Good job by Smith, just kind of throwing bat at the ball, getting the ball to the right side of the infield. Moving up her teammate Heidi Smith from second to third, and now deja vu is Rutgers Camden had a base runner on at third with 2 down, and so do the Profs here trying to draw first blood.
And the pitcher, Jackie Sasko, steps to the plate, try to help her own cause here. Runner on third. Of course, the Profs like to hit with 2 outs, as they proved in their last doubleheader.
We're rolling 28-5 on the season, just cruising along these two teams at opposite ends of the spectrum right now.
Absolutely.
And Profs, you can tell they've got nothing but the postseason, the NJAC playoffs on their mind, while Rutgers Camden is trying to play for respectability, and they're going to essentially be playing for 2009 as well.
Absolutely. So they're not going to lay down here against the powerful Profs offense.
And Powell very patient right now, being careful, keeping the ball away from Sasko. Doesn't want to come into her hitter zone and put her team behind 1-0 early.
So Powell delivers, and that's another ball. So Sasko, I just really love the Profs hitters, just so patient at the plate. They will sit and they will wait for their pitch.
Like I said, they're not going to help Powell out. They're not going to swing at bad pitches and give her extra strikes to work with. Everything she gets this afternoon, she's going to have to earn.
And she'll walk Jackie Sasko, so we have 2 runners on now for the Profs. And that is dangerous territory for Rutgers Camden.
Well, Powell's got a bear down now. Stephanie Tarashi coming up. The Profs' 5th hitter to the plate here this inning, and she's got 2 going, but she's not out of the woods. Tarashi on the year, .355, 19 RBIs, 33 hits, and she's certainly capable here in an RBI situation.
So the first pitch, and that's a strike right down the middle. Sasko looked like she was ready to move off of first base.
And it looked like maybe Tarashi, who saw the at-bat before her and Sasko was pitched, steadily outside, and Powell busts her right down the pike, and she took all away.
And that's a 1-1 now.
I think that's what Powell's going to have to do this afternoon, Ryan. I think she can live with the Profs hitters taking her into right field, but she's got to stay away from the heart of the plate.
Absolutely. Avoid the big hit. And that's another ball.
And I think, too, as a pitcher, she already saw once what happened when she came inside and missed, and that ball got rolled all the way down into the left field corner up against the fence, and that put her behind the 8 ball a little bit, but she's got to battle back right now and find a way to get strikes and get out of this inning.
And throws that one, and it's high. Looks almost like a pitch out as they are keeping an eye on Jackie Sasko. She looks ready to move over there, as I said, at first base.
And Lauren Navarro potentially waiting on deck. She's no slouch herself, .341, 21 RBIs to go along with 31 hits. And last thing you want to do with 2 outs right now is load the bases.
And does just that, a walk to Stephanie Tarashi. So now we have 2 runners on, or excuse me, bases loaded for the Profs. Navarro with a definite shot here to do some damage. Again, with 2 outs right now.
Now the shortstop Treatland going over to talk to her pitcher. And they need a ground ball in the infield somewhere right now because a ball hitting the outfield is going to play at least 1, possibly 2.
And that's strike 1, and that's exactly what she needed to do. Get ahead in the count, put yourself in a good position.
I think the first pitch has not been a problem for Natalie Powell. It's been
working her way through.
The pitches after.
On strike 2 right away. So Powell means business right now.
And Laura Navarro did not like that call. Took a glance back at the home plate umpire. And that pitch has not really been given to Natalie Powell here through the first inning. And that's the first time off the outside corner it's been called.
And they'll throw to third, but not in time. So a bit of a pitch out right there. Checking the runner, Heidi Smith at third.
I don't think Smith is really going anywhere.
No, neither do I, but I guess...
That's kind of a risky play.
That was. You could have thrown that away. That's another ball. Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. Throwing down to third, not exactly the time, because if you drop that ball, you figure there's at least 1 run coming in, and the runners are going to move up.
Oh, absolutely. I can see if Heidi Smith had gotten a running start and she was halfway home, then you get her in a rundown. But in that situation, don't want to be throwing the ball around.
Oh, and that ball's hit down the third base line, but foul. So Navarro almost put it right where Heidi Smith put it to start this inning.
Wait, look where the Prof base runners were. Heidi Smith was halfway home. Tarashi was not far behind her.
As I said before, watching Jackie Sasko, she has looked ready to move and since she got on first base.
A good piece hitting by Navarro, just opened up about a half second too early to try and straighten it out.
Oh, and she gets struck out. So the Profs will leave the bases loaded. No runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, no errors. It's still 0-0 as we head to the top of the second on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
She kind of lost the strike zone for a couple batters, but she got helped out, got ahead of Lauren Navarro 0-2, and she came back and finally got strike 3. And that's a huge way to get out of the inning, especially with 3 ducks on the pond and the Profs are ready to strike first. And now it'll be up to Jackie Sasko to get her teammates back at the plate.
Absolutely. And right now, for Rutgers Camden, Amanda D'Anduno comes up to the plate.
And we talked about the week that Sasko had. 5-0 shutout in Game 1 against TCNJ. Came in Game 2 at 11-2, got the victory in relief. And then she finished off the week with a ho-hum 4-0 shutout while striking out 6 against Rutgers Newark.
So the first pitch is a strike from Jackie Sasko. And she'll stare it down. Doesn't really have that smile on today that we're so used to Jackie Sasko having. And that ball's hit right up the middle for a base hit. And that might be the problem for Jackie Sasko.
That maybe she saw a golden opportunity to get potentially 1 or 2 runs of work where her teammates couldn't pick her up. But much like the top of the first inning, and to lead off the game, the first batter aboard with a base hit.
And Christina Petra steps up to the plate. Shows bunt. Fouls that one off her leg. So it'll be 0-1.
Well, good fundamentals here by Rutgers Newark. I like what they're doing. They're getting the first run on in the first inning. They get her bunted over to second, put her in scoring position, put the pressure immediately on Sasko.
And again, you see that small ball. Not exactly a group of power hitters here, so. And she fouls off the bunt back again. So it's a good idea in theory, but you need to execute.
Yeah, absolutely. It took the words right out of my mouth, and they can appear to play small ball, but the bottom line is right now Petrutz has got to find a way to get this bunt down and get D'Anduno down to second base, and she's had 2 quality opportunities, just got the bat head too far up in front. Now she's behind 0-2.
Showed bunt again, but hits that one right to the shortstop, Carangelo, who gets the out at second, over to first, but not in time, so they get the lead runner on the fielder's choice right there.
And in that situation behind 0-2, essentially you have to take the bunt sign off. Petrutz couldn't find a way to get D'Anduno safely down to second. Now 1 gone. That brings up Valerie Bond.
So Valerie Bond steps to the plate. Sasko delivers first pitch. And it's a strike right there on the outside part of the plate.
I think as this game progresses, naturally depending on how long both these pitchers last, it's one thing they've done, and they've thrown first pitch strikes, first pitch fastballs. I mean, they've gotten ahead of these hitters, and eventually some of these hitters are going to start to figure this out and try to be aggressive.
Lays down the bunt, and they get her in time at first, but the runner will advance to second on the sacrifice. So there you go. We see the small ball once again, this time executed properly. Of course, DiDonato did a good job covering that ball. And Navarro came over to first to make the out.
That's all really Rutgers Camden can ask for. I think as long as the first thing is to put the ball in play, make the fielders make a play.
Ashley McDonald up to the plate now. She swings through the first pitch. Just fouls it off a little bit.
Well, McDonald's struggling so far this season. She started all 31 games for this Rutgers Camden team behind the plate, but only 186 on the year, 9 RBIs driven in. It's tied good for second.
And swings right through that pitch from Sasko.
Rutgers Camden needs McDonald to try and find a way to break out of this year-long slump it's been so far, hitting under 200, but Rutgers Camden can't keep squandering these opportunities with runners aboard.
And she swings right through that one for strike 3 and out number 3. So, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. It's still 0-0 here as we head to the bottom of the second inning on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
WGLS programming is made possible in part by the Founders Inn Bed and Breakfast located in Glassboro, New Jersey. The Founders Inn takes time out to wish their own community a successful year. As a big fan of Rowan University, the Founders Inn Bed and Breakfast provides lodging for visitors of Rowan University and the Glassboro area and is located within walking distance of the Rowan University campus. For more information, the Founders Inn website is www.thefoundersin.com.
Hey guys, this is Danielle Waller from the Rowan softball team reminding you that you can catch all the action on our 2008 season on the web at wgls.rowan.edu.
Back here at the Rowan softball complex. So we head here now to the bottom of the second inning. Still no runs on the board, but some definite opportunities for both teams so far.
And the first 2 innings have kind of been similar starts, similar ends. Rutgers Camden, they get in the first and second innings. They get their first base runner aboard. They can't do anything with it. They get the base runners as far as second and even in third back in the first. And Jackie Sasko bears down and ends both innings with strikeouts. Now it'll be up to the profs to try and shake off leaving the bases loaded last inning as they send the latter part of the order, 7, 8, 9 to the plate here in the bottom of the second.
And Sarah Colangelo stepping up to the plate right now. You know, it's important, again, you want to try to get on a team, especially with a record like Rutgers Camden, as early as possible because, you know, it would be very simple to ruin the confidence.
Oh, absolutely. I think when we talked about it before, you look at a team at 1-13 in the end, Jack, only 5-25-1 overall. They've lost 4 straight games, and it's still a young team, and they're searching for their confidence right now. I think the last thing you want to do to a team that's not as good as you are is leave them hanging around too long.
And Carangelo hits that one into the gap in between center and left. So she'll get a base hit right there. And the first runner is on for the Profs.
Good piece of hitting by Carangelo. And again, Powell didn't come far enough inside, kind of left it out over the plate a little bit too much, and it results in the Profs' second hit of the afternoon.
So Jenna DiDonato steps to the plate. And she takes the first pitch for a ball. So now you got that early opportunity here. A runner on for the Profs on first. Sarah Carangelo, no outs. Of course, it's the latter part of your order right now. You'll bring it back to the top with your strong hitters again. And it looked like she was about to run Sarah Carangelo, but Ashley McDonald steps up real quick.
And Jenna DiDonato, one of 6 Prof players to start all 33 games this season, coming in 308. And trying to find a way to get her teammate Carangelo to second.
And she bounces that one back to the pitcher. The throw to first. In time for out number 1. The runner will advance to second. So we'll call it a sacrifice. for DiDonato.
Oh, DiDonato, that came really a high chopper back to the mound, and Powell does a nice job fielding her position, has no choice but to go over to first, and Casey Russell now trying to turn the lineup over with one gone.
Then Russell takes pitch number 1 outside, ball 1. And now you're starting to see that struggle of no first pitch strikes right now, as we saw from Powell in the first inning. That could be bad against these selective prop hitters. And she pops that one up into left. And it's caught for out number 2 by Petritz.
I think Casey Russell would like to have that one back, and that was a really good pitch. It didn't get far enough outside, and Russell just got under it about a half inch too much, and a lazy fly out to left field. It turns the lineup over for Christina Brenner.
Brenner flew out in her first at bat. And she tries to lay a bunt down. They're gonna call her.
Yeah, they're gonna call her safe. The catcher McDonald came up and fielded, and I think if she hadn't, that would have been a foul ball.
That's what it looked like to me as I was trying to decipher.
Like the backspin kind of came back into the batter's box, but McDonald came up fielding, and a lucky break for the Profs is that enables Carangelo to move up to first, and Brenner safe over. Or excuse me, Carangelo to third, Brenner safe at first.
So interesting play there, marked as an infield hit. On just, I guess you could say, a miscommunication play to some extent. And it's a first pitch strike to Heidi Smith now.
And with her speed line, I think the catcher McDonald probably saw her getting down the line. Maybe she kind of rushed it and she thought.
I could see where that'd be a panic situation. Yeah. So there we go. We've seen the Props jump on opportunities when bad defense is seen. And delivers. That ball is low. Someone's ball right there.
And Powell once again, 2 gone. She finds herself in a bit of a pickle. Seems like the first 2 outs have not really been a problem, but they say the third out's the hardest one to get.
And the Props have done some very good 2-out hitting so far. See if we can get one home here. That ball is high. So again, losing the strike zone late in the inning.
Yeah, well now this is not exactly the time you want to do that with Heidi Smith on deck. 443, team high 32 runs batted in.
And there's a strike right there. She took it all the way to Heidi Smith. Trying to draw the walk, load the bases for Kristen Wallace. Of course, she's seen the bases loaded before and's hit one out with a grand slam this season.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do with your best hitter is give him an RBI situation.
Heidi Smith hits one through the gap between first and second. 1 run will score. Moving up to third is Christina Brenner. And Heidi Smith has an RBI single for the Profs. Put them ahead 1-0.
Good piece of hitting by Heidi Smith, Heidi Smith. And that ball was a rocket in between the second baseman and the first baseman, and Keenan a good diving effort for it, but there was no chance she had to come up with that one. And a good job by Christina Brenner hustling all the way as she finds herself at third, and Powell's still in a bit of a jam now as she's giving up the lead 1-0, and the Profs still with runners at the corners with 2 gone.
So Kristen Wallace at the plate takes the first pitch for a ball. Wallace, she grounded out in the first inning.
And with that hit, Heidi Smith now takes the team lead away from Christina Brenner. They were both deadlocked at 32 hits. Smith now with 33 and a team high 33 RBIs.
That ball's in the dirt. Of course, Christine Wallace sends over to Christina Brenner, tells her to hold up, not to run. That ball was not getting away. And we'll try it again. Powell on the mound with the pitch. And that ball's high. Looked close, actually.
It looked like that the umpire was going to pull the trigger and maybe help Powell out a little bit, but she's thrown a healthy amount of pitches here in both innings, and there's still work to be done.
And there's a strike right there on the inside part of the plate. And yeah, of course, not too warm out today, but the sun is beating down, so you could see fatigue becoming an issue here in the latter innings for either team.
And Powell's going to have to be mentally tough. Like we said, she's been able to get the first 2 outs in both innings, but the third
that ball bounces over Powell's head, and they make the play at first. Ooh. Not sure what they're going to call here.
They're going to call Kristen Wallace safe at first.
Wow.
The run from third is going to score. Christina Brennan will plate the second run acrosses. The umpire was pretty distinct. He called her safe. Now, I don't know from our vantage point whether or not Andrew Ono came off the bag at the last minute or whether or not Wallace just beat it out. But
it's possible. It looked like she might have been blocking the baseline as Kristen Wallace went down, heading over to first. Looked like she got knocked out, so not quite sure what the umpires have called here. But either way, a run is in. So it's now 2-0 Profs. Runners again on the corners for Jackie Sasko, who's coming to the plate.
That's the 4th hit of the inning for the Profs, the 3rd consecutive. And like I said, never want to see, not a good thing when you see Kristen Wallace take a
hard fall,
awkward tumble down. Luckily, it wasn't worse than it could be because first when she went down, you figure any time you do that, maybe you hit the base wrong, you turn or potentially a chance to sprain an ankle, but she pops right back up, gets on first, gets the helmet back that she lost. And Powell still in a bit of a trouble. Runners at the corners. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's been the case here in the last 5-8 minutes here.
Absolutely.
In the latter part of this inning, and Jackie Sasko now with another chance for an RBI situation.
Yeah, 3 straight hits for the Profs, 2 of which were kind of interesting hits. One barely leaving home base, and the other one, we're not quite sure what just happened, but looks like she beat it out at first. So this is aggressive play right now from the Profs, which is what you like to see. Beating out balls.
Yeah, 2 of their 4 hits
things happen.
Haven't left the infield, and they're getting it done.
And Sasko takes the first pitch for a ball. Jackie Sasko comes into this game batting .298, so definitely a dangerous hitter. And she pops that one up over to second. Underneath it for the catch is Prelatine, and that'll end the inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 left on for the Profs. It's 2-0 as we'll head to the top of the 3rd here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
WGLS programming is made possible in part by the Kennedy Health System, a regional provider of healthcare services. The Kennedy family, made up of more than 3,500 employees and 900 physicians, is pleased to support Rowan University games on Rowan Radio. Kennedy, a principal teaching hospital of UMDNJ, supports educational and athletic excellence in southern New Jersey. We applaud Rowan in its mission of educating tomorrow's leaders today and wish the Profs and their fans a tremendous season. Kennedy Health System, treating you well.
Hey Prof fans, this is Lauren Navarro from the Rowan softball team reminding you that you can catch all the action of our 2008 season right here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
Back here at the Rowan softball complex, myself, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Frank Minetti, and we're going to pick it up here in the top of the 3rd inning. Profs have taken a 2-run lead now. And let's see if Jackie Sasko can hold them. Of course, Rutgers, Camden, as we keep mentioning, they're at the bottom of the well here in the NJAC. The Profs towards the top, number 3 right now. It's important for the Profs not to lose these sort of games, which, you can't really call anything in the NJAC a gimme, but, these are the important ones to win. So this way, you're in a position now that, in those bigger games, you can afford to lose 1 or 2 down the road.
Oh, absolutely. I think the one thing on the board for the Profs there coming into this game is these are probably one, if not both, games that they should win. At this time, maybe you can't be giving games away that you should win and you come out losing because Montclair State and Ramapo, they're still rolling right along, and they're not going to slow down just because the Profs have a couple hiccups here and there.
Absolutely. Krista White comes to the plate. She's the designated player today. And she takes the second pitch high for a ball. First pitch was low for a ball. Of course, it finally made it all the way through Rutgers Camden's order now. Just says a lot. Jackie Sasko pitching well. Of course, she's behind 3-0 right now, and she smirks back at the catcher, Tarashi. That patented Jackie Sasko smile.
And you can tell she really has a lot of fun out on the mound. And with the way, naturally, when you win, I think you always have just a little bit more fun than when you're on the losing side. And
Absolutely.
Certainly the last couple, 3-4 years here at Rowan, there's been a lot of reasons to have a lot of fun here for the softball team.
Oof. So puts that last pitch, strike on the inside, and then this next pitch swings right through it, does White. So it's now quickly a full count as Jackie Sasko's coming back strong. She delivers. That ball is popped foul.
And I believe the wind
has taken that out of play, yes. So White will come back to the plate and try it again.
And an interesting stat here for you, Ryan, that I foolishly forgot to mention at the top of the broadcast. In doubleheaders this season, Profs 16-1.
Wow.
You look like a stat guy, so I figured I
that was pretty good. Oh, fouled straight back towards the crowd. Yeah, that says a lot about the Bros. If you're 16-1 in games that, these doubleheaders are not easy. It takes a lot of mental toughness to go out there 2 straight games and, keep things together, or when you're doing bad, to pick them back up. And it says a lot about what this Profs team can do. And she'll walk Kristen White. So a runner will be on here to start the inning once again. Runner has made it to at least to first base in both innings so far.
Excuse me, incorrect math, 16-3. Of course, I forgot the Ramapo double.
Oh, all right. Well, there. I was about to say, I thought they lost those to Ramapo, but I'll give it to them.
That was the only game, the first game of the doubleheader, that the Profs didn't win the first game.
And she tries a bunt down to third baseline, does klutz, but it'll go foul. And White a little confused over there at second base. She didn't know whether to come back or stay. Sure, she would have liked to stay at second, but we'll bring it back and try it again.
I think for Rutgers Camden right now in their dugout is, if they're going to get runners on, they've got to find a way to manufacture runs, and they can't keep getting runners at second and third and coming away with nothing.
And Stephanie Klutz takes low for a ball. Tarashi fakes over to first. No throw, which I think is a good idea. Again, you want to avoid areas where you can make an easy error, and those would be one of those. Sometimes pitching out to first base, when that runner's really not going to go, is really just not a good idea.
Oh, absolutely. The last thing you want to do is start throwing the ball around and put a quarter in the merry-go-round and get things going and turn into a circus.
And that bunt, that's a good bunt right there. They'll make the out at first on the sacrifice. So well done. There we go. Once again, it seems like we've talked about this every inning. Trying to play small ball does Rutgers Camden. A little bit of trouble executing, but that time does a good job.
And like I said, for Natalie Powell, the first 2 outs have not been a problem. It's getting number 3.
It's getting out number 3, yeah.
For Rutgers Camden so far, getting base runners aboard has not been that large of a daunting task as we thought, but now the problem is, can they get it from second to third, and if they get it to third, can they find a way to get it home?
Yeah, that seems to be the big problem. See, those runners will creep around, barely make it to third, and then Jackie Sasko will strike the next batter out, and that'll be it.
And you're not going to get a lot of base runners against her, and the ones you do get on, you've got to take full advantage.
And this is the trouble with playing small ball against Jackie Sasko, is you can get those 2 sacrifices, move the runner all the way to third, and she'll just strike out the next batter.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell they've had 2 base runners on. They've left them both on here in the first 2 innings.
And Brooke Kenya takes that ball outside. Of course, she had a sacrifice. Seems to be just the name of the game here for Rutgers Camden in the first inning. Runner on second. The pitch. And she bunts that one down. Runner will move over to third. And she appears to be safe at first, so she beats out that for an infield hit. Runners now on the corners for Rutgers Camden. And we'll see if they can make something out of it with their big hitter, Steph Skrosky coming up to the plate.
That was a picture-perfect bunt, and the speed of Brooke Keenan hustling all the way down the first. A good comes up firing. There's Kristen Wallace at third, but...
And the runner moves over to second, and they got her in a rundown. Oh, and the runner comes home. Right over Tarashi's head, and Tarashi gets slid into. She appears to be hurt. 1 run is in now for Rutgers Camden, but everything is stopped. Tarashi looks to kind of be injured. Runner is moved up to second.
And on that, any situation like that, I think Rutgers Camden, any way you can get him, we talk about it, it's good. But I think at the last moment, Sarah Carangelo maybe, I think she kind of thought that she was going to be able to tag out Keenan right away, but Keenan kind of puts on the brake, stops, goes back to first, trying to get in the rundown. You do that as a runner to try and get the third base runner at least halfway down to home, if not all the way home. And at the last moment, Ryan, I think Carangelo thought she was going to be able to make the easy play at first. Instead, forces Keenan back to first. She's safe, and by the time she started to make her throw and come home, the throw was way high, way wide, and the first run aboard for Rutgers Camden. So not a good situation, and the Profs kind of fumble the rundown a little bit, and Rutgers Camden cuts the lead in half, and everybody's safe all around.
Yeah, that's just one of those situations where it's tough to get everybody at once. It really just looked like almost like a bit of confusion, like Rutgers Camden played that on purpose, which, I mean, you really don't know. But
good job by Rutgers Camden, just put pressure on the defense to see if they can make a play, and
they were proving that they could not right there.
Even more importantly is that that enables Rutgers Camden to take the bunt situation off for their best hitter, and Steph Skrosky. Now she can swing away and try to tie this thing up with a runner at second, only one gone.
Well, and she'll step up to the plate now. As we said, that runner is on second. That ball is low.
The first run surrendered by Jackie Sasko in 4 games.
Oof, wow. Sasko in unfamiliar territory right now. Oh, wow. Throws that right past her.
Boy, Skrosky
She just turned around and gave a look to her dugout like, wow.
Oh, that one had something on that.
Nice high up in the zone, and that one had some heat to it.
She just caught up to it at the last second, and that one was humming in a hurry.
Sasko delivers again. Change-up right there for the strike.
Good off-speed pitch. You set her up. You show her the high heat. Just gets a piece of it, and all of a sudden that change-up looks like it's coming about 30 miles an hour.
And that ball's popped up right right over the away team's dugout. So we'll try it again.
And on deck is Dreetland. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon, and like we said, Rutgers Camden, they've been able to manufacture base runners, but
they finally got a run in, as we said.
Third time's a charm here early on.
Sasko delivers. That ball's hit right to Carangelo. Throws over the first, not in time. Runner holds at second. So now, as we said, base runners again for Rutgers Camden at first and second. Again, another infield hit.
Yeah, and their hits this inning haven't left the infield. And
neither team seems to really be, other than Heidi Smith's double down the line.
Yeah, that's been the only ball that's
made it to the grass.
Left into the outfield. And Carangelo now having an eventful here, top of the third inning. Couldn't execute the rundown play to get A out, whether back at first base or the throw was high and wide coming home. That plates the Rutgers Camden first runner across, and the base runner at second base, Keenan, who put pressure on Carangelo. I think Carangelo kind of gave her an extra second and a half glance as she was trying to find a way to get down to third. And good job by the base runner, Keenan, just draws Carangelo's attention. Her throw is wide, and it pulls DiDonato, off of the bag, and everybody's safe.
And Kathleen Drexel shows bunt. Both runners will go as Tarashi drops the ball. So now runners both in scoring position.
Now the break's starting to go Rutgers Camden way here.
Yeah, you're seeing that. All that small ball. 5 things right now in the top of the third inning, and that could make all the difference.
A serious chance here for Rutgers Camden now. Second and third, only one gone. And Dreetland's got to find a way to keep this inning going. And in a situation here, if you get back the ball, you want to try and get it to the right side of the infield. That way, Keenan can come home. But the right side of the infield, and DiDonato and Navarro have got to beware and come up firing home.
Sasko delivers. Oh, and strikes her out. And there we go. This is what we've talked about with Jackie Sasko. She can turn around and just strike a batter out.
That was one man at bat, and you can tell right now that the smiles have faded, and Jackie Sasko is all business. And that at bat,
she is throwing hard right now.
That bat was all business, and Dreetland never had a chance.
DiDonato steps up to the plate. She takes that ball for a ball. Man, oh man, Jackie Sasko starting to bring the heat right now. Well, still got the smirk. And that ball again is low. So it's 2-0 right now on Amanda Diaduno.
Middle infielder's kind of back at normal 2, outplay death. The corner's up. And if you're a Rowan outfielder right now, a ball hit on the ground, you've got to come up. Number 1, make sure you keep it in front of you. Number 2, come up, field it cleanly, and you can bet there's going to be a play at the plate.
And Sasko delivers again. Walks her on 4 straight pitches. So right after she strikes one out, she commits a walk right there. And the bases are now loaded.
And that's only her, that's her 37th walk issued on the year. And now bases chucked.
And it looks like suicide squeeze maybe on the call. She pulls the bunt back, hits that one right to Carangelo. Carangelo bobbles it. Everybody's safe. 1 run will come in. So,
boy, all 3 hits and they haven't left the infield. And that's, it sounds simple and it sounds easy, and in some instances, baseball is not brain surgery. But you put the ball in play and you make the infielders make a play. And so far, Sarah Carangelo has had 3 chances here in the top of the 3rd inning to make plays, and she's come up empty, 0 for 3. And that was a situation where the runner, Skrosky, was hustling all the way over to 3rd, and it looked like at the last second, Carangelo was trying to get the flip, didn't really get it cleanly out of her glove. By the time that all happens, Christina Petrutz is safe at first. Everybody's safe all around, and we got a 2-2 ball game.
Ellie Bowens hits that one to Carangelo again and out at 3rd, and that will end the inning. So, for Rutgers Camden, 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error for the Profs, and the bases were left loaded. It's now 2-2 as we will head over to the the bottom of the 3rd inning on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
South Jersey Healthcare is proud to sponsor the programming on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. Based upon its exceptional performance, the Cardiac Catheterization Lab at the
Back here at the Rowan Softball Complex, and Frank, we were just discussing really just there for the Profs.
No, and it wasn't. It was not like the Profs were missing cutoff men or anything like that, and none of the hits really left the infield for Rutgers Camden, but I think in the rundown situation it kind of started all that as the person with the ball in a rundown situation, especially when there's a runner on 3rd. I think Sarah Carangelo would like to have that one back. You've got to be aware of at all times of the base runner on 3rd, and I think she focused a little bit too much on the base runner at first base at the time. That was Keenan, and by the time she came home, it was too little too late, and it started a big inning for Rutgers Camden. They played 8 base runners, or eight batters at the plate.
8 batters at the plate, yet they only came up with 2 runs, and there we get back
loaded
to the small ball. So, but Stephanie Tarashi now up to the plate. She made it to first base in the 1st inning, but Tarashi takes that one for a strike.
And now for Powell, this is essentially a brand new ball game back at 0-0 as she fell behind 2-0, and her teammates picked her up big time in the top half of this inning, and now it's a brand new ball game starting from scratch.
And Tarashi swings right through that one, but fouls it off. Tarashi, wonder if there's any lingering effects. Of course, she got slid into on that first run where the Profs made the overthrow at the plate. Limping a little bit after that, but she appears to be all right now.
She went down like a ton of bricks in that situation.
She did.
I don't think it went home because it was so late by Carangelo that the base runner.
Yeah, the base runner essentially was already in by the time she was covering home base. So, sort of, and as we get back to it, sort of an interesting set of events there for the Profs where things did not go their way. Tarashi gets ready once again. Swings at that one, but it's foul down the first base line.
And now you can kind of tell right now the momentum has swung to the side of Rutgers Camden. Right now, best case scenario for Rutgers Camden, you've got some confidence now. You pretty much convince yourself through the early stages of this game that you can play with a team the caliber of Rowan. And right now, you're Natalie Powell. You want to try and keep that momentum going and go 1, 2, 3 and get your team back up to the plate.
Stephanie Tarashi. Oh, and that ball is dropped. And ball was dropped by number 11, Kenya, and The runner is safe at first. She couldn't get a handle on it in time. The ball was hit right behind the first base bag, essentially.
Yeah, she did all the hard thing right except squeeze the glove, and Brooke Keenan now commits the error in the process with a base runner board and nobody out.
Navarro up to bat. Takes that ball low. It's 1-0. Tarashi again on first base. Made it to base in both her appearances so far. First one on a hit, this time on an error. Navarro shows bunt. Runner is safe at first. Whew. Looks like she almost got hit in the head with that ball.
That was Stephanie Tarashi right now. You talk about the tumble she took in the home plate collision. That ball nearly catches her right in the helmet.
Not having a good day so far. They're gunning for her.
And her batter Navarro's got to help her out there. I mean,
yeah.
That was really a poor bunt. One of the she's not going to make that mistake too often. Try to kind of push the ball through and just letting the ball come to the bat and let bat meet ball. And she nearly hung her catcher out to dry.
And again, the throw down to first base. They're trying to pick off Tarashi.
Bit of a catcher's duel going on there. And McDonald trying to get her counterpart down there out at first base. And Tarashi does not seem like that she's on, the giddy up to get down to second.
No, she does not. And that ball's popped up. Runner holds, and that time the ball is corralled by the second baseman Kenya. So a little better defense right there.
Atones for the mistake she made moments ago, and she puts the first out away. And now Sarah Carangelo, after a bit of a rough top half of this inning, no better way to kind of help yourself right here than at the plate with a runner aboard.
And Carangelo takes the first pitch for a strike. Props dugout starting to get into it. Surprisingly, though, a low-scoring game right now for the Props. Just did not expect the bats to be silent this long. But are they possibly, again, waiting for 2 outs to start hitting again?
Absolutely. And like I said, Powell, she's not had problems. She should have 2 outs here already in the inning. But the first and second outs have not been a problem. It's trying to close out the innings. It's been her bugaboo.
Ooh, that ball is called a strike. Ooh, looked way below the knees, but
a similar pitch in Lauren Navarro's first at bat where she fell behind 0-2 to a similar pitch, and she ended up striking out.
So Carangelo takes that outside for a ball. Of course, that one looked more like a strike than that last pitch. Just could not believe how low that ball was.
That ball was kind of where the pant line and the sock line meet.
Yeah.
It didn't look like that was going to be called a strike, but Carangelo now trying to avoid the double play.
And Powell throws that one in the dirt, trying to get her to bite at one, but no go. It's now 3-2, full count on Sarah Carangelo. Runner at first. 1 out in the inning so far. Oh, and she rips that one. Oh, and it's caught.
What a nice play over a second.
She's getting beat up right now, Kenny. Yeah. They are hitting the ball at her.
She's had to field it 3 times. She has 2 putouts, and that was a really tough play by the second baseman, Keenan. I mean, that ball kind of died at the last moment. She had her glove pretty much right parallel with the ground.
Yeah, she had it, and she was ready to throw straight to first to try to pick off Tarashi.
Yeah, and a heads up by Tarashi. Sees it at the last moment, turns on, puts the brakes on, and heads right back.
DiDonato takes the first pitch for a ball. Jenna DiDonato had a sacrifice in the second inning. Of course, 2-out situation, looking for a hit right now. And she does just that, hits that into the gap in right field. Ball's not played well, and Tarashi will advance to third, and she's coming home. There's going to be a play at the plate, no. And over to second is DiDonato. So the Pros put up a run with some aggressive base running and some heads-up running by Tarashi. Proving her skills on the base pad once again.
And the center fielder, Klotz, it looked like she was going to field it cleanly to keep Tarashi at third, but a great job by head coach Kim Wilson at third. Sees the ball, kind of skips past the lip of the glove of Klotz, and she gets that right arm working around like a windmill, waving Tarashi right around, and the Props go back in front in a heads-up play by DiDonato as the throw goes home. It'll be an RBI single, and she advances on the throw home to second.
So Casey Roselli now up at the plate, fouled that first pitch back. I'm very impressed right there. Heads up base running by the Profs. It makes a big difference on stretching out hits and getting a hard-earned run right there.
All right, Tarashi, great base running, moving at the crack of the bat. And head coach Kim Wilson waving her right around.
Oh, Casey Roselli hits that one deep to center. Back on it, and it hits the wall. A run will score. Roselli is heading for third. And she'll hold at third with a triple. So another run comes in for the Profs. And they take the lead back by 2. It's 4-2.
Well, ask and you shall receive here. The Prof bats coming alive here. Back-to-back hits. And
again, with 2 outs, all these hits coming. It's just they don't seem to want to do it the easy way.
That's absolutely right. It seems like you're kind of giving away the first 2 outs. They are. We do our real damage when we're with our backs against the wall, but
whatever works.
I'll tell you what, she gave that one a ride. And
yeah, she did. It looked like it might have gotten out of here.
And the center fielder, Klotz, she kind of turned around, turned to her left, and then she turned back down to her right, and she really had no idea. And that ball was just hit in the deepest part of the park. And a heads-up play by Roselli coming all the way for a stand-up RBI triple, turns the lineup over.
For Christina Brenner, has a run in this game after an infield hit. Top of this Profs lineup, of course, very strong.
And all started by the error committed by the second baseman, Keenan. Could have been an easy put away, but she bobbled the pop-up by Tarashi, who led off this inning. And she plated the go-ahead run. And now DiDonato came around moments ago, and the Profs now back up in front by 2 at 4-2.
So Brenner stands in the pitch. That ball is way low on the outside, almost a pass ball. Of course, not good with Roselli standing on third.
Absolutely. You've got to be really careful here now. If you're Powell, you can ill afford to get this ball past your catcher, McDonald, because Roselli, the way the Profs have been aggressive, she's going to be gunning for home.
And Brenner hits that one right back to Powell. She'll throw to first for the out. So for the Profs, 2 runs, 2 hits after 1 error. 1's left on. It's now 4-2 as we'll head to the top of the 4th inning here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. Spectrum in the end, Jack. But really, Rutgers Camden is holding their own right now.
Oh, absolutely. And this has kind of been like the early part of a boxing match where the Profs have punched first. They went up 2-0. Rutgers Camden counter-punching. They take the lead in the top half of the 3rd inning. To tie it up at 2. And now the Profs have answered back with 2 of their own in the bottom half of the 3rd. Now it's Rutgers Camden. It's time to try to counter-punch.
Ashley McDonald takes that first pitch for a ball here on the top of the 4th inning.
And they'll send McDonald, White, and then the lineup will turn back over for Klotz.
And that's a strike, a little bit low, but she seems to be giving that the umpire today.
All right, now we'll see as Sasko had a 2-run cushion to work with, and she kind of gave it away a little bit as Camden battled back 2-2, and now we'll see what she does with another 2-run lead.
Another strike right there. It's now 1-2 on Ashley McDonald.
And now momentum, we talked about it in the top of the moments ago, in the top of the 3rd inning, it swung towards Rutgers Camden. Now they've got to find a way to get it back.
And Ashley McDonald hits that ball foul down the 3rd baseline. Hung up there for a little while. Looked close.
Yeah, it seems when the balls are getting into the outfield, which has kind of been few and far between, they are really getting out there in a hurry, as we saw in the
yeah, it's either a hard hit ball or a dribbler today. So
in the bottom half of the inning, where DiDonato's single kind of got out there in a hurry, and then Roselli's triple that had caught the base of the fence out there. The ball is really jumping off the bats when it gets up into the air, and a slight breeze here.
That ball way high from Jackie Sasko. Tarashi kind of walks out a few steps, tells her to calm down. We'll try it again. It's 2-2. Sasko with that smile delivers. Oof, tough call. Tough call. Sasko with a laugh right there. But
oh, boy.
You can hear it from the crowd. I don't think anybody really agreed.
I don't know if I would have laughed.
Looked right on the letters right there.
Ooh. I'm not sure where that one was.
And that ball's fouled off again. Full count to Ashley McDonald.
And look like just catching the number on the front of the Rutgers Camden jerseys. And I think that the Rowan faithful off to our right thought there was going to be a little bit of a punch-out action by the umpire, but
not so much. McDonald's still in this at bat. Jackie Sasko focus in. She'll deliver, and she strikes her out. So it takes an extra pitch or two, but Jackie Sasko gets what she wants, gets the strikeout, starts off the inning strong with the first out.
She gets her fourth strikeout of the afternoon, the second by McDonald, and McDonald kind of laid off the high fastball a couple pitches before, but that time I thought she could catch up to it, and she'll think twice next time before she swings at a pitch like that.
So the designated player, Christina White, steps to the plate. She scored a run in the third inning. That big inning, of course, for Rutgers Camden. Sasko delivers again. Oh, man, cannot find the strike zone, or at least this umpire strike zone right now.
Same exact spot as it was months ago, only this time it was on the inside.
Absolutely. Can't seem to buy that pitch up high, but she'll give it to you low.
I'm not sure.
Sasko will throw that one in the dirt. I guess she thought she could get it.
I'm not sure if White was even going to see a better pitching out of bat. I mean, that one had, hands through the hitting zone coming all the way, but and that one is a strike. Go figure. That one is probably right up at the letters, and Sasko gets that one.
That's a quick update. It's 3-0 over in Haverfield College after one inning. Quick update from the studio right there. So
it's our main man, Jeff O'Connor.
Tries to keep us informed.
He always does. Good man.
Good guy.
He's good people.
And that ball's hit foul. They're not going to get to it in time, so we'll keep it going.
It seems like every ball is kind of hit towards left field. There's kind of a little bit of adventure. There's 3-4 prop players trying to get out there in foul territory, but once the ball kind of comes in foul, you can kind of tell that it's not an overpower. It's actually a comfortable breeze here, but it's taking the ball out in a hurry. It's going about 15, 20 feet back behind the fences.
That ball is fouled straight back, so Jackie Sasko being forced to work pretty hard right now. Of course, has the 2 strikes, see if she can get another punch out. Surprisingly, only 3 in the game so far.
Yeah, and with the amount of base runners that Rutgers Camden has left on, they left 5 base runners on through 3 innings. And they can't be afforded to giving base runners like that.
And that
was an eventful bat, to put it that way. I'm not sure where the strike.
Of course, that ball was definitely a little bit high, and it's a ball, so a walk right now for the designated player, Christina White. She'll move down to first base. And we'll see if, again, Rutgers Camden, as we said, they're playing small ball today. See if they can keep it going as Stephanie Klutz steps to the plate. And she'll lay down a good bunt. On it is Kristen Wallace. She'll throw down the first for the out.
Well, she has got some blazing speed, does Klotz. I mean, she really...
It's her second sacrifice of the game.
Yeah, that's a second close play with first and Wallace. Good credit to her, comes up firing. And as soon as Klotz gets bat on that ball, she is grease lightning down the first. And Wallace has made some really nice plays on her part down there at first to throw out the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Klotz.
I mean, that's good defense by the Profs. Nothing you can do that, but well executed by Rutgers Camden. So, Brooke Kenyon steps to the plate. She scored a run in this game, had an infield hit and a sacrifice.
And this is the 4th straight inning that Rutgers Camden has at least had a base runner reach second base. And that one...
And this is, as we keep saying, they're not having trouble getting those base runners. It's getting them in. Of course, left the bases loaded last time in the 3rd. And appear to be heading down the same sort of path here in the 4th. Sasko delivers. Chop foul down the left base line once again into the Rutgers Camden dugout.
Steph Sklosky waiting on deck, trying to get the top hitter for Rutgers Camden here at the plate. And what would be another RBI situation for her. She had one in the 3rd inning, or top of the 1st, excuse me, and couldn't get it done.
And it's low.
Boy, these pitches, they are not missing by...
No, we don't really know where they're missing, to be honest with you, but
man,
Jackie Sasko continues to work, continues to smile. You know she'll fight through anything.
Goodness.
Sasko delivers again. Swings right through that and strikes her out.
Laid off the one previous, but that one right up at her eyes, and she offered at it, but the Profs will take it as they get out of the inning.
That they do. So 1 runner left on with 1 hit. It's still 4-2. Profs lead as we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning here on Rowan Radio, 89.7 WGLS FM.
This is WGLS. This is WGLS FM News Director Angela Colligan bringing you a Rowan News Minute for April 22nd. In Pennsylvania today, Senators Clinton and Obama are battling for the nomination. Most analysts are predicting Senator Obama will carry Philadelphia.
FM. Now back to the game.
Back here at the Rowan Softball Complex, we're underway. Powell pitches first pitch to Heidi Smith is low for a ball. Has overcast skies starting to loom. Possibility, I guess, of rain this afternoon. So it's 1-1 now on Heidi Smith.
And she has been the hiccup, the chink in the armor, so to speak, for Powell. And she's not found a way to get number 25 out. 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI single to boot.
And she hits that one up. Kenyon once again really getting worked over there at second base these last couple innings.
She's like I said, put the ball in play, make the fielders work, and she's had to do just that, and fighting off the sun and the slight breeze here, and it's no spring picnic. And when the ball gets up in the air, and the wind, and especially here as open
carrying
as it is,
in weird ways,
can
so
really play tricks with the fielders.
Kristen Wallace now up to the plate. And that's a ball. Profs dugout getting into it here again. Close-knit bunch. And the pitch from Powell. And Kristen Wallace hits that right past the shortstop. Tried to get to it. It looks like it'll be a hit.
And Treatland just out of her reach. It wasn't not by much, but
now barely missed it. Made a good play at it.
A hard hit ball by Wallace, and she's a one-out base runner.
For Jackie Sasko stepping up to the plate.
A pitcher trying to help her cause here. 0 for 1 on the afternoon.
So runner on first. First pitch. Taken for a ball.
And Natalie Powell's done a nice job of holding her own here this afternoon. And
it's a close game.
And we talked about it before coming in, that the 4-13 mark, and at first glance you might think, well, her ERA has got to be inflated up in the 6, 7, or even 8 area.
And
but
it's not.
It's not even just a shade under 4, 3.96.
And we're seeing that right now. Of course, it's 4-2, you know, and
not a lot of run support, 2 runs. Her teammates have left 6 base runners on.
3-0 now to Jackie Sasko. Opportunity to get on base. Pitch to take right now. Does this that, but she'll get the walk, and it's a 4-pitch walk for Powell. And, you know, right after we compliment her, it seems like she loses a little bit of steam right there. So runners on first and second.
The 4th walk issued of the day, or excuse me, the 3rd walk issued by Powell, and that brings up Stephanie Tarashi with a couple of teammates aboard, only 1 gone, and the Profs threatening to tack on a few more runs on the scoreboard.
We'll see if they wait for 2 outs once again, but seems to be the Profs' style.
Tarashi, 19 RBIs on the season. And I believe we are going to have it looks like I'm guessing a pinch runner for
Jackie
Sasko. Yeah.
Good move. So.
It'll be Lauren Pashley coming in to pinch run at first base for the pitcher Sasko.
Yeah, we've seen this many a times this season. Of course, you can do that. That's a good move. You don't want to risk, your pitcher out there in the field right now.
And you get a bit of a pair of faster legs on the base path.
Absolutely.
Pashley, and certainly a single here could not only play the run, but could also get Pashley from first to third.
Well, Tarashi now digs in. Natalie Powell delivers. Calls that a ball.
This has been a tricky strike zone.
Yes, I can't help but laugh right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to see where, she has a sense of consistency with the strike zone, but everybody's got the same up, so you got to play the game.
There was a handful of pitches that Sasko looked to be like she had strikes in the same situation with Powell here.
And that, and it's a ball right up by the numbers.
And this is going to be a big inning for Powell here. It's going to be a telltale inning in the bottom of the fourth, and whether or not, if she gets out of this inning, I would imagine she's probably going to have a chance to come out in the fifth, but if not.
Could see that pitching change. And Tarashi hits that one right down the first baseline. Moves both runners up, though, so a well-hit ball on the infielder's choice.
And that was a good job by Trash. He gets it to the right side of the infield, enables Wallace to move from second to third.
Good piece of hitting.
And Pashley from first to second. And that ball, at that time, and a good play by Deanne Juno, who that ball kind of took a funny hop on her. In that situation, you absolutely have to keep that ball in front of you.
Absolutely. Lauren Navarro now up to the plate. She's struck out and flied out so far in this game, so she's having a tough go of it right now. We'll see, though. It's 2 outs. This is when the Profs seem to like to hit. Runners both in scoring position. And there's a strike down low.
And Wallace is going to be busting it at the crack of the bat, as will Pashley over at second, in a situation now where the Profs could potentially plate 2 more at the crack of the bat up by Navarro.
And taken for a ball. Lauren Navarro gets set. Powell gets her call. Delivers. Navarro hits that one out over to the second baseman, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on for the Profs. It's still 4-2 here, and we'll head to the top of the 5th inning here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
Parkcrest Village Apartments is a proud sponsor of programming on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS.
Yeah, Kristen Wallace, very good, consistent player for the Profs, someone you can always count on. And Dreetland swings right through that first ball. Kathleen Dreetland with 2 Ks already on the day, so it's been a tough day for her against Jackie Sasko.
Ashley McDonald,
quickly behind 0-2.
McDonald, the other Rutgers candidate, player with a pair of strikeouts. So
yeah, Jackie Sasko seems to do that to people. She'll have certain people that she can just get every single time up to the plate.
All right, right now.
Oh, and right through the high pitch. That's a fast pitch. Wow, bringing the heat does Jackie Sasko. Strikes around on 3 pitches, so we're quickly 2 outs away.
All right, that was some serious cheese.
That really was.
I think Dreetland would like to have that one back, because she's now got 3 Ks on the afternoon, make it 5 for Sasko. But
I love Tarashi's face as she turned around after that pitch and just kind of shook her hand a little bit.
What a rising fastball by Sasko. And right now, this is kind of an important inning for Rutgers Camden, not because you're down by 2, but the prime hitter's up at 3, 4, and 5, and so far Sasko has mowed down the first 2 and looking to get the third out here and go 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Amanda Diaduno has had a decent day, reached twice.
And 1 for 1 with a single, and trying to put some pressure on the Profs fielders, put the ball in play and see if you can get a 2-out base runner.
And Sasko delivers for a strike on the inside. Good pitch.
And as the game seems to wear on, Ryan, she just gets
She really does.
better,
She
better,
settles
seems
in.
to reach really another level.
Swings right through that pitch. Another strike.
I think we're seeing it right now in the top half of this inning.
In the zone.
She's hitting another level right now.
Sasko gets set, delivers. That ball's fouled off down the third baseline. And we'll set it up once again for Amanda Diaduno.
Boy, 4 of their 6 hits have not left the infield here to save for Rutgers Camden.
Of course, that one run they got, or one of their 2 runs.
Sasko scattered 6 hits, but these balls have not really been hit.
Now, these have not been hard hit balls. A couple of them, are sort of fielding blunders, I guess you could say, not really errors.
That 3rd inning, not much that the pitcher Sasko could do, but Rutgers Camden seems like the best balls they're getting around are being driven foul.
That they are. Jackie Sasko, after the strikeouts, commits a walk. So a runner is on now for Rutgers Camden with 2 outs. See if they can make something happen here. As Christina Petrich steps up to the plate and shows bunt, much as she had through the entire game. Pulls it back, swings through the first pitch, strike 1, and then almost an out at first base.
The last thing you want to do right now for Deanne Juno down at first base is commit that fatal 3rd error. I mean, 2 down, you're down by 2, so her run essentially means nothing right now.
Throws down at first, and she'll run to second. Ball is dropped by Carangelo, so they're not going to be able to get her, and she gets a stolen base. So she was ready to run the entire time. Did Deanne Juno?
Boy, what a call by head coach Kim Wilson from the Dog. I mean, they had that one picture perfect. They played that to a T, but Carangelo, you got to catch before you can tag, and she tried to tag a little bit too quick before she secured the ball.
Showing bunt once again does Christina Petrich. Pulls it back for a strike, though, from Jackie Sasko. And again, as we just keep reiterating over and over again, Rutgers Camden playing small ball, trying to manufacture runs here against the Profs.
Oh, close one.
Woo. Tarashi up from the squatting position. Almost thought about throwing that. Thinks better of it.
Well, Deanne Juno very aggressive here on the base pass.
That she is, yeah.
I think Rutgers Camden kind of sensing that they've already left 6 on here through 4 innings. Not going to get many more opportunities.
And fouls that one back. And I think, that's another thing. They probably noticed the Profs very aggressive. Of course, Tarashi on the base pads to score that 1 run earlier in the game. And it worked out well. Run hard and hope for the best.
Petrut's trying to find a way to keep this inning alive.
And she will not with the K. So, after a walk, one runner left on base. It's still 4-2 Profs lead. And we'll head over to the bottom of the 5th inning here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
Good afternoon. Here's a traffic update for Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
And they've left 7 base runners aboard. They've only been able to play 2 across, and it's up to Natalie Powell, who's been effective. I think she's even pitched well enough to win this game, but her hitters and the Rutgers Camden lineup right now has got to find a way to pick her up, as they'll be down to their final 6 outs here coming up in the top half of the inning.
And we saw low ERA, but
not
low
a lot of run support.
No, not any run support at all. Sarah Carangelo swings at that one, and it is caught by Bowen for out number 1 and right. So DiDonato will step up to the plate. Jenna DiDonato has a run in this game.
And Powell is only running a couple hiccups a couple times to lead off the bottom of the first. The Profs plated 6 batters to the plate, and then also in the bottom half of the 3rd they plated 5. But Powell has not really had that one damaging, crucial inning that's forced her out of this ball game yet.
Jenna DiDonato, 1 strike in the hole right now. And that ball is low, but for a strike. So it's 0-2 on Jenna DiDonato as Powell's starting to home in and make things happen here.
I think as the game goes on, as we said, Sasko's gotten better. I think she's gotten better as well.
Absolutely. I mean, she really has pitched. She's gone pitch for pitch, essentially, with Jackie Sasko. Unfortunately, it's just been a run support issue. The Profs have been able to get more runs on the board.
Scattered 8 hits this afternoon and trying to shut the door here, an important part of the ball game.
Jenna DiDonato, the ball is bobbled at second, or is bobbled by Predeline in the gap between first and second, and Jenna DiDonato gets on base with the error.
That's going to be her 2nd error of the ball game. She's been busy over there at second base.
Yeah, she has. They keep hitting it at her.
She's had a number of chances, and she's put away a number of putouts, but At this point in the ball game, there's very, very little margin for error for Rutgers Camden. If they're going to get back in this ball game, they've got to make sure they're fundamentally sound defensively, and then the sticks have to come alive, and that's not going to help.
Casey Roselli up to the plate. Takes low for ball one. Roselli with that big triple.
Oh, and you know the props are going to play this aggressive. I think they can kind of smell it right now where Jackie Sasko's starting to hit another gear.
And they can take a few risks here and there. Oh, and she hits that one out the center, but it's caught by Klutz.
Boy, what a great recovery there by Klutz. She
Good grab,
a couple steps back, and that one really sounded very good coming off the bat, but at the last second kind of hung up there too long. And quickly 2 gone now, and the lineup will turn over for Christina Brenner.
Brenner up to the plate once again. Looks like it could be a quick inning here, but then again, the props like to hit with 2 outs. So Christina Brenner with a shot right now. Shows bunt. Jenna DiDonato moving off first. Ashley McDonald thought about throwing it. Made the smart move, held it in.
And Brenner on the day 1 for 3 with an infield hit back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And Klosky down at third's got to be heads up. She got to be aware that bunt could be coming down.
And again, looks to first base with Jenna DiDonato taking a big lead.
And even with 2 outs, Brenner not afraid to kind of get that slap swing, that slap play down to third base. And Skrosky's got to be aware, and she's got to come up firing.
And Brenner trying to sort of slap bunt it down the third base line.
I would even have Skrosky right now playing in further, I think. Now they're going to roll, and that ball they're going to roll her out.
Oh, they are going to roll her out.
That was a slap bunt, and she already had 2 strikes.
So that'll end the inning. 1 runner left on after 1 error. We will head. Valerie Bowen steps to the plate for Rutgers Camden. Jackie Sasko settled in last inning with a couple Ks. See if she can keep it going. Ball hit right back to her on the first pitch. Over to DiDonato for out number 1.
Well, I don't get any more effective than that. 1 pitch, 1 out.
There you go. Reduce the wear and tear.
And I think Rutgers Camden, even though they're still in this ball game, they're down to the final 5 outs, but the worst thing they can do right now, I think, is start to really press. And I think you can tell first pitch.
Yeah, when you're swinging at first pitch.
They've got to be patient. I think they've got to find a way to once again get a couple base runners aboard and make the props defenders fit. I mean, they have not been, spectacular in the field. I mean, there's been a couple plays, and Carangelo's been, I think, the culprit of a couple miscues, but you put the ball in play, number 1, you make the fielders field it, anything can happen. Bad throws here, bad scoops there, and quickly, you could have a couple base runners aboard.
Ashley McDonald hits that one down to third base, and Christina Wallace sends it over to DiDonato for out number 2. So
I wouldn't necessarily hit it to third, though.
No, that's probably not the best plan.
Kristen Wallace down there, ice water in the veins, just comes up fields, fires, just another out, another day at the office for her. And
as we said, probably one of the most, if not the most consistent player offensively and defensively in this props lineup.
That was a great job fielding her position down there in what they call the hot corner. And speaking of hot, Jackie Sasko right now, I think she's probably
lights out right now for Jackie Sasko.
Starting to take over, and I think Rutgers Camden, maybe the door has been shut. I mean, they've had their chances.
Yeah, Krista White, up to the plate. She's a designated player today. Has a run, but Jackie Sasko just looking phenomenal right now.
And when you come in as a bit of an inferior team here compared to Rowan and Rutgers Camden, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities.
And that ball down to Kristen Wallace. Out to DiDonato, so they do it the quick way. 3 ground outs, so no hits, no runs, no errors, no one left on. It's 4-2. Rowan leads here on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.